Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? My name is Varanus, and welcome to the Outlast Trials. We're going to be talking about Project Messiah and everything that came with the new update. So, let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about, obviously, is Lilia Bogomolova, the new Prime asset. She's terrifying, but not really terrifying once you know how she works, once you know the cues they gave her to be able to hint towards her location. It becomes relatively easy to track her, unless she does some very unique pathing that kind of gets in your way, which does happen. You will actually see that in this video. There's a time where she pops up and I wasn't expecting her and she gets the jump on me. It can happen. It's very terrifying when it does, but normally she just kind of does either normal prime asset things by chasing you, or she poses as a mannequin and you are able to figure out which mannequin it is quickly. The only issue I have is the jammer rig is more of a detection tool than the stun rig. Not the stun rig, wow, my brain. The X-ray rig, that's the rig I'm looking for. The X-ray rig, which is supposed to be the detection tool rig, when you look at the mannequins, they all look like full skeletons, so they all look like they're prime assets. So you can't tell which one is Lilia, which is annoying. But if you use the jammer rig and you just point it at the mannequin, if you get to the 3 bars that tells you can corrupt a target, then you know it's Lilia and not a mannequin. Which makes the jammer rig even stronger than it already is, being the number 2 rig for most people on their rating scales. Yeah, it's kind of hard to really look at that and think about it normally. The other problem is that the jammer rig, normally when you look at an objective, right, like literally one of the upgrades allows you to see objective items, and that no longer is the case here. In fact, using the jammer rig on the mannequins, because the mannequins have the little gems on their neck, all the mannequins look normal. So you still have to use the blacklight tool to see if they have the skull or if they have the dollar sign. Which means that now the X-ray rig, which is normally for information about objectives as well, no longer works. Yeah, it's it doesn't make sense to me. I think they need to do something, buff the X-ray rig in some way to allow you to be able to see the mannequins and see the actual objective items for Despoil the Auction. We'll get into that in just a second, but since I'm talking about the rigs, I brought up that point. And maybe not let the jammer rig detect Lilia just by pointing at her. It doesn't make sense that that's such an easy way to just be like, yo, I don't want to deal with figuring out if this is her or not. Point to jammer rig. The Despoil the Auction is fantastic. It is probably the most straightforward trial that they've ever made. Like, completely straightforward. It's beautiful. The new MK challenges are really nice. Well, specifically Fabricate the Scandal. I like that one a lot. The Seize the Narcotics is kind of boring. It's the same kind of thing as the Release the Prisoners. Find a key and run the key to the center, except this time it's just run to the center, grab drugs, and bring it back out. And then open the doors to the prison, and then leave. The only thing nifty that they did is that hitting the button for opening the prison also powers the exit, so the shuttle, so you no longer have to wait. I don't know if that's something because I'm solo. I know there was the adjustment for invasion, so I'm wondering if that just affects all gameplay. The Deluxe Catalog Project Messiah, it looks fantastic. It has a bunch of filler items in there, but it also has some really cool looking full body cosmetics. It looks great. The Winter Kills event is going again, but instead of dealing with Cold Snap, we now have Permafrost. Now, I need to bring up Permafrost when I'm talking about the resort map as well, which is where the main trial exists. It's annoying. It is definitely annoying in a good way, not in a bad way. It's not annoying like when you have the no running variator equipped, and then you have hyper aggressive enemies. Like, it's not that stupid. But it is annoying because you have to deal with heat sources, and the heat sources are hard coded. So even if you have the deep burns variator on, where the map is literally on fire, you go stand next to that fire, it's not warming you up. Go stand in the fire and get burned, it warms you up. But next to it doesn't. It makes no sense. But you can stand like 5 feet away from a fire barrel. Yeah, that's warming you up. Again, I don't really care too much about realism for this video game, but it would be nice if certain things logically that made sense in the game. Just a little tiny tidbit from me there. Let's see, the deluxe catalog for the Winter Kills event, the gnomes are fucking terrifying. That's really all there is to say. The new items in the Murkoff store are really, really cool. I'm not going to be buying all of them. I don't buy all the cosmetics now that it's done this way. I like that they do it this way now, rather than doing the premium DLCs. Don't get me wrong, I loved buying those. I bought every single one of those DLCs. If I remember correctly, they were like $20 each, except for the one that they did as like the 4 separate packs, where it boiled down to $5 per pack, so $20. Still basically the same price. I bought every single one. I'm not going to buy every single one of the cosmetics in the new shop because a lot of them are just recolors of the ones I already have, and I don't really use those. I buy them so that then I can support the devs. So now that we have a cosmetic shop, I will be spending money to buy cosmetics when I like them. Now it's me saying, hey, I'm still going to give you money. I'm still going to, but now you're giving me options. And I'm going to take those options. If they release another DLC, I will gladly throw money at that DLC too. Hopefully they release a good DLC. You know what I mean? Now it's time for the Invasion Therapy update. This was a big update that they were talking about. This update has a lot of changes. The only one that I disagree with, and I don't disagree with it because I hate it or, you know, fuck the devs or some shit. I disagree with it because I think they're trying to push their players in a direction their players don't want to go with it. And it's this line. Imposters is now to hurt the reagents and not necessarily eliminating them. Disruption is the core of the role. So originally when this mode was released, it was all about killing them. Now they want to shift the goalpost to just, you have to hurt them. It makes it easier for people who are not as good at the imposter. It makes it way easier for those who are really good at the imposter to get an A and A+ grade. The problem is that player perception is still going to be on eliminate the reagents. And that is the only victory. And so you're going to see a bunch of players who are going to be frustrated because they're like, I don't deserve an A, I didn't kill them. You stabbed them a crap ton, you deserve it. No, I didn't kill them. You're going to get that kind of like mental block because, again, you're playing the role that's supposed to be trying to kill, not obstruct. That's just my opinion on that, at least. I think other people are going to agree because I'm not saying I'm always right, but I tend to be in a lot of my thought processes. I tend to be kind of matching the same thoughts that other people are. The door improvements, anti-stalling measures, the reagents having to do the secondary objectives now, that's a requirement. All of the little fixes that they did were fantastic outside of the rule change of it to hurt the reagents rather than kill the reagents. That, I think, is the only thing that I disagree with, but, you know, I can contend with it and be fine. I played a whole bunch of matches, and I still got kills, but I got much better grades easier. Like, you can see right now, I think at this point I've killed one guy once. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I've killed the one guy once, and I have an A+ grade. Like, all I have to do is not die and maybe slash them a couple more times so that when they escape, I don't get a lower grade than the A+. That's just how that is. Side note, let me know if you like the way that I edited the trial video, where I put in the corner what my grade was and popped that up for the short. I want to know if you would rather see the grade on there. If you don't want to see the grade, I'll just remove it and go back to the way that I was doing the clips before. I just figured putting the grade on there was a nice little touch, so then you could actually see, like, hey, this is the grade that he got. He's doing pretty good, you know. Something like that, just based off of this. The imposter balancing is fantastic, making the stamina costs much less. The reagent balancing, making the stamina damage much less, is good. There was no mention of the stun rig, jammer rig, OTK, but there's also no mention of the amp self-revive being able to work on an imposter kill, and I had a match where that did happen. I don't know if that was a bug. I don't know if that was not that and they got revived via a jammer rig, but it said self-revive in the text on the side. It was just like, hey, this person has used self-revive. So I'm assuming they had the amp self-revive, got themselves up after being killed by me. But I digress. Nothing I can really do about that. I do think one thing that needs to be kind of addressed is the spawn logic for the imposters. Because there's times where this game will spawn you out in Timbuktu compared to where the reagents are. The reagents will spawn in, they'll do their thing, and then it'll spawn you off way in some corner, and they start moving away from you, so now you're trying to run to catch up to where they were, and then run to catch up to where they are now. It's definitely annoying. I'm not sure how they would improve it, because obviously they have to try and keep a good balance. Like, they can't have you immediately spawning on top of them, because then you just get a free hit, and they had no idea that you just showed up, and all hell would break loose. I had that happen to me one time. I was playing Reagent, and there was on the very first Franco Barbie map. I can never remember the name of that one. The one with the drug mules. And right after Franco just killed the two guys hanging, it had me spawn in, and I spawned right out of the exit gate, just outside of the turn gates. So when the turn gates dropped, I'm throwing my blade at them, and they're like, I'm sorry, why the fuck is he here? So, you know, there's a couple of bugs like that happened. And hopefully the devs, you know, figure that kind of stuff out and don't let that kind of stuff happen again. But like I said, hopefully they also fix the spawn logic so then you don't spawn 80 miles away. Like, imagine in this trial, obviously I'm playing the whole thing out because it's about to go terribly, terribly wrong for them. But imagine I spawned all the way out there and they were walking into the front door and then going into the back. Like, I wouldn't be able to stop them before they got stuck in the cutscene, and I would be forced to exit the trial. At which point, why did I even spawn? Like, why spawn me if I'm going to be so far away that I can't do anything? Or one of my favorites is on the same map that I was talking about with Franco Barbie, on the piers. They're going off the pier from an MK challenge to go out the exit gate. And where does it spawn me when it's doing the everybody spawn, like all invaders spawn in and go everywhere? It spawns me on the opposite side of the map. Yeah, nothing you could do. Anyways, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you have some kind of opinion to be able to share with me that you have, whether you like something or don't like it. Let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to read them and discuss them further. Beyond that, I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in another video. I've got all my normal videos planned out for this next coming week, all the shorts, and I've got some custom trials that I'm going to be filming for Sunday, as well as also more invasions. Have yourselves a wonderful day.